Vedanto Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Ram Sankirtan Ki Jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य ही दिवांग श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुगण गौरंगा की जय शंबल भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौरा प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल की जय हरे कृष्णा chapter 17 the divisions of faith and in this chapter there are so many three types of food, three types of sacrifice, three types of austerity, three types of charity. So that's what we have been doing. And in verse number 14 to 16, we went through charity, austerity of, what are the three austerity that we went through? Austerity of
Speech,
body,
austerity of
body,
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 speech, mind,
mind, and
speech,
speech,
speech.
right?
speech.
Right. So three austerity we completed. And today we'll try to go through charity. There are three types of charity. So charity is done in three modes also. Let's start from verse number 20. Datvayam iti yad danam diyate anupakarine. Upakarine. Upakarine means for somebody else welfare, right? Upkar. And anupkar means there is some expectations. Dese kale chapatre cha tadadanam shatvikam shmartam. So first one is charity in mode of goodness. Datvayam means charity. Datvayam is given, right? Dhanam is charity. So when charity is done out of duty. So out of duty here refers to varnasrama, right? Like Brahmin's duty is to give the knowledge. So out of duty, don't think that somebody is forcing, rather based on one's varna and ashram. Like normally we say that girhastha, as a girhastha, we should support preacher, devotees who are engaged in preaching program, sannyasis and others. If they come at our house, we should support them. So it's the duty that is for devotees who are in Grihastha ashram. So I wanted to make sure that that part is clear. Without expectation of return. And dese kale cha patre cha. At proper place, that is desa, kala at proper time, and patra to a worthy person. If these three things are kept in mind, that the person who are given are falling under this category, then that charity is in mode of goodness. I know there might be some questions on this thing because many people like this charity. So I will just finish the verse and then Before I transition to the next topic, we'll see if there is any question. Charity in passion. यत तु प्रत्यु उपकारार्थम उपकारार्थम प्रति प्रत्यु प्रति प्रति उपकारार्थम फलम उद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिशितम परिक्लिशितम क्लिष्टम क्लिश कष्ट, you know, the type of thing, it's like really feeling the pain. Tad danam rajasam asmritam. So pratyupkar artham, with the expectations of reciprocation. Okay, I'm giving this to you, so you should be doing something for me, right? Or I'm giving it, you should be obliged of my charity. So there are some expectations. So if that is the mode, then it's in mode of passion. With a desire for fruitive results, like people go and give dan to Brahmin and other, pious people, so that they can incur some good credit, or even worshipping demigods, doing charity for demigods. Why? Because Krishna has said in previous chapters that devotee who are in mode of passion, they worship demigods. And what demigod does, in this chapter itself, in the early on verses, they go to the higher planetary system. So desire for the result and grudging mood, pariklistam. There is no, mood to give, but I have to give because there is XYZ circumstances associated to it. That type of charity is considered charity in passion. And adesa kale yaddanam apartre abhyash chadiyate ashatkritam avagyatam tad tamasham mudharitam. So adesha and akale, that donation which are done at impure palace at improper time, apatrebhyash, to undeserving. Patra, right? Patra, apatre na bichare. So qualified versus not qualified, deserving versus undeserving. Asatkritam avagyanatam asatkritam. Avagya, you know what is avagya? Avagya means not to not follow. Agya, avagya, right? So here says disregard, with a disregard, and ashatkritam, not very courteous, in a very discourteous way. So at impure place, at improper time, to undeserving person, with disregard and discourtesy. That type of charity is called charity in ignorance. So Krishna described the existence of a person under three modes by his worship. Okay, so how the person who are influenced by three modes, they can be distinguished or they can be identified by using some of these markers, some of the symptoms of their activity by their worship. What type of worship do they do? The food that they eat, austerity that they are part of, sacrifice that they do, and charity that they do. That determines one's quality of faith. So I think I misspoke when I said that worshipping demigod is in the mode of passion. I meant to say that when we are giving the charity for the fruitive result, and most of the endeavor that happens in mode of passion is for fruitive result. So if we are expecting certain gain, and if we are reaching to Brahmin or some other personality, because they will give us the reward or they'll give us a benediction to achieve the higher result, and that type of charity is in the mode of passion. So in series of verses, Krishna has described worship, food, austerity, sacrifice, and charity, and that determines one's quality. And by that learning, we can understand if one is in the mode of passion, or one is in the mode of goodness, or in ignorance, by knowing type of worship, food, austerity, sacrifice, and charity they are engaged into. So next 5 verses is very, very important. Then Krishna is saying now from here onward, but then how these persons can come out from these modes, right? If you look at the yoga ladder, what is the intent of yoga ladder? Wherever you are, it will pick you up from there, and slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, it will elevate. Right? On the ladder, you will start at the very lower step, and then slowly and slowly you walk up, go up to the upper steps. So that's the beauty of yoga ladder. So the person that we are talking about here are the people who are completely bound by modes, either ignorance, passion, or goodness. So how that person can start coming out, how they should do this activity, their worship, their food, their austerity, their sacrifice and charity, how that should be done so that it's beyond guna. It will help them start coming out of guna. Okay, so all of that we have studied, right? We are now going to summarize. Krishna is now going to summarize that how these people can come out of gunas. So if you really look at in a nutshell, we have talked 3 types of personality. Divine personality, who are divine. They are devotees, fully engaged in devotional service. And divine personality is divine. They are engaged in service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then the bottom 2, demoniac and intermediate, right? Intermediate people, we just discussed that their worship, charity, austerity, food, everything is in the mode of, in one of the mode, right? So for these 2 type of people, if they have to come out, where the process begins, how the process begins, what at least minimum they should do so that they can start coming out of the modes. Is it clear so far what I'm trying to say?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So I want to make sure that details are there, okay? But more than detail, there should be a connections and flow of what exactly is going on. So that's what I'm trying to emphasize. I'm trying to make sure that you understand how we are switching. That the section that we are going to switch into, what it's going to uh, tell us. So this section describes right spirit of performing sacrifice, charity, and austerity. Okay, right spirit. What is the right way to do these things? Okay, so let's see what is the right way to do it. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sad iti nirdesho brahmanas tri vidha asmritah brahmanayas tena vedasya yagyasya vihitah pura. So by nirdesho, by calling out, by chanting these three words, Om Tat Shat. So these three words indicate the supreme absolute truth, Vishnu, and are Brahmanas Tri Vidha Asmritaha, and are chanted by Brahmanas during the sacrifice Yagyacha Bhita Pura, for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when charity, sacrifice, and austerity are done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Person, Supreme Lord, by chanting this mantra Om Tat Sat, then that is beyond guna. So there is food that everybody eats. Everybody is eating food. The same food, when prepared with love and devotion and offer to Krishna, and then being honored as prasadam, it becomes transcendental activity. And Prabhupada has said many times at many places, there is not really gulf, difference, not a huge difference between the lifestyle of devotee or somebody from outside. Why? Because devotee also eat food. We also eat food. We are not hungry. We also have the clothing. We also have the body that we have to maintain. Now, how we are maintaining the body? When we get up in the morning, take shower, austerity of the body, right? And then we put tilak all over this body, 12 tilak that we put. Decorate this body as temple. Temple where in the heart, in the center, Vishnu, Krishna resides. Right? So our body is like temple. It's temple. Temple where Lord, we invoke Lord Sri Krishna. Om Krishvaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhvaya Namaha, Om Krishvaya Namaha. Like we do. Om Vishnu Namaha, Om Vamnaya Namaha, Trivikramaya Namaha, Madhusudanaya Namaha, Damodaraya Namaha. Like all 12 places that we do. So we are inviting different names of Lord to reside at different part of our body. So making this temple body. So somebody will get up in the morning and take something and lap on their body too. We do the same thing, where we treat this body as a temple, having tulsi mala in our neck, Brahmin thread, whatever we have, and we are doing more or less similar thing, but all of that is done for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then it becomes transcendental. So here it says that by chanting Om Tat Sat. By chanting Om Tat Sat, when charity, sacrifice, and austerity are done, then these are transcendental. So, prasadam cooking, music, everybody does music. We also do music. When we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or some bhajans, sang by Bhakti Vinod Thakur or Narottam Das Thakur, then that becomes transcendental. So, Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastere vidha asmritah brahmanastena vedasya yagyacha vihitah pura. It makes it complete, and when it is complete, what is the completeness of it? The completeness of it is that it is done for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so then we'll understand what is this Om, Tat, and Sat referring to. Okay, Tishmad, therefore, Om iti udharitya yajna dan tapakriya pravartante pravartante vidhanoktah satatam brahma vadinam. So Tasmad, Tasmad, therefore, conclusive. Whenever you see Tasmad, means conclusion. It's being concluded. So all the discussions that we have done, it's being concluded now. Tasmad, therefore, Omiti Udharitya. One should Udharitya. One should call out, chant Om, the name Om, Yagya Dana Tapakriya. If you are doing Yagya, or if you are doing any Dan, or if you are doing any sacrifice, or if you are engaged in any other activity, Parvartante Vidhanuktaha. You begin your activity of Yagya, Dana, Tapa, Kriya by chanting the syllable Om. How? How? Vidhanuktaha. Very important. Following the teaching of Shastra. Then Satatam Brahma Vadinam. Then that activity becomes eternal activity. Okay. So Om Tat Saditi. Om refers to Lord Vishnu, the impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Tad Vishnu Parampadam Omiti Etad Brahmano Nidistham Nama. So Om refers to Supreme Lord Vishnu. If you go more into depth of it, then it refers to uh, Brahman form of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om refers to Brahman, okay, and Brahmano Pratistham. Ultimately, it's Krishna and Vishnu. So Om Tasmad Omiti Udharitya. So when we are doing some activity such as Yaga Dan Tapa, by calling out, by remembering the name of Lord Vishnu, then it becomes eternal. Then it's beyond the three guna. Next verse is Taditi Taditi Anabhishandhaya Anabhishandhaya Phalam Yagya Tapakriya Dan Kriyasya Vividha Kriyante Moksha Akanchi Vihi. So Tad iti, this Tat is Tat refer here to something that is beyond material. Okay, It's not material endeavor. Okay, so Om refers to Lord Vishnu, and Tat is uttered by person aspiring for liberation from material entanglement, performing sacrifice, austerity, and charity without desiring fruitive result. So that's the translation. But Tat basically refers to something that is beyond, you know, beyond material gunas, or action that is not done for some return. Annavilasita shunyam. There is no avilasa. There is no return. Okay. So it's action that is beyond, the mode. So Om refers to Lord Vishnu, and Tat refers to that aspect of that action which is done for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not done for any particular result. It's not done for any particular expectations. So when we are doing services in the temple, we should not, expect any return, recognition, or anything like that. We should just do it, and do it knowing that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, not for our pleasure, not for mind pleasure. What is, and that is again, uh, advanced stage, very advanced stage. When devotee becomes very advanced in their Krishna consciousness, then they would know what is the uh, desire, what will make the Supreme Personality of Godhead happy, what is Lord wanting from me in a particular service. Lord is not wanting me to do for my name, for my fame, for my recognition, but Lord is wanting me that I should be subservient to the service that's given to me. I should, with that service, serve the devotee, serving the devotee, you know. So these are the good side of engaging into the service. I'm serving, whatever capacity. Krishna decides what capacity one has to serve. But in that service, we serve. We serve as a temple president. We serve as a, council member. We serve as a spiritual master. We serve as a, disciple. Whatever position Krishna has given us, we are serving. So trying to understand the higher aspect of the service that we are engaged to, that is the aspect, something transcendental. We say that this service is transcendental. What is transcendental? Beyond guna. It's beyond guna. And what is beyond guna? The charity that you do, the sacrifice that you do, the austerity that you do. You are not falling under one of that category: goodness, passion, ignorance. You are not in that. You are coming out of that. Okay. And perfect example is any service that we are doing in the temple, we should a little bit think about Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in a very humble way, internally meditate, my dear Lord, I'm doing it for your pleasure. I'm doing it for your happiness. I'm doing it so that I please accept my service. I hope you will like my services. In nice mood, not that people will say that I'm great at what I do. And if that's the mood, then right away it falls down to one of the guna. But we have to do transcendental service. Okay. So Krishna is teaching, remembering Supreme Personality of Godhead, engaging in transcendental way. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sad iti yetat parujayate prasaste karmani tatha sat shabdah partha ujyate. So sadbhave sadhu bhave. Very, very, you know, uh, poetic. Sadbhave sadhu bhave. So sadbhav, what is sadbhav? Sadbhav is Supreme Personality of Godhead, absolute truth. And sadhu bhave means the the mood of the sadhu, the the mood of the performer. So if actions are being performed for Sadbhave, for Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Sadhu Bhave, in the mode of a Sadhu, iti yatat parujayate prasasте karmani tatha shat shabdah partha ujyate. So that type of action is eternal. So shat here refers to eternity feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yagya tapasi dane cha स्थिति स्थिति सदिति उच्यते कर्म चैव तद अर्थयम सदिति evavipadyate. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, Prabhupada translation, and it is indicated by the word Shat. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service. See here. So service that we are doing, who is the objective? Who is the enjoyer? Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is indicated by Shat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all work of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which true to the absolute nature are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Partha, O son of Pritha. So when Sadbhave, Sadhu Bhave, when the actions are done in a bhav of sadhu, for Sadbhave, for Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that action becomes eternal. Nihavikarmya asti pratyayo na vidyate salpam api dharmasya trayato madhu bhayat. That's the beauty. Salpam api dharmasya. So how we can make our austerity, charity, worship, everything transcendental, sadbhave, sadhu bhave, do in a mood of a sadhu for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if it's done that way, then then tad arthyam shad iti eva abhipadyate. Then that type of activity becomes eternal, satya. So for your action to become satya, there are many criteria that has to follow. Sadbhave, sadhu bhave, it has to be done for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It should be done vidhanoktaha. It should be done as per the teaching of Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means it should be done based on the teaching of Guru Shastra and Sadhu, Tasmad Omiti Udharitya, by chanting the name of Lord Vishnu. So all of these items or elements, if it's put together, then that makes your endeavor eternal. So going ahead now, any service that you are part of, try to make it eternal. And how you make it eternal? You make it eternal by acting as a devotee, by following the rules of Shastra. I have a service here in ISKCON St. Louis to be organizer for festivals and programs. Devotee comes to me, and they ask me that can I do this, can I do that, can I do that, can I do that, can I do that? They ask me. And the answer is, if I am not really caring for them, I can say, yeah, go do it. What's the problem? Yeah, whatever you want to do, do. And then they'll be very happy. Oh, Prabhu is very nice. I wanted to, sing a bhajan that is based of a movie song. And he said, yeah, go ahead, do it, It's very nice. But if you say, no, you cannot do it. you should try to sing one of the song that is written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Natadam Thakur. And they'll say, oh, you are not good. But from going ahead in future, you should understand that are you helping that person to do their endeavor in one of these guna? I can say, yeah, go ahead, do it. Might be something in the mode of ignorance. It might be something in the mode of passion. It might be something in mode of goodness. You'll be very happy. Wow, 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 I did that. Everybody is clapping. I don't. So on superficial level, we appreciate that, but on a very, on a very, no, on very internal level, we really don't like promoting things which are falling in tamoguna or rajaguna or even sataguna. Rather, engage them in transcendental Shuddha Sattva. And how you engage in Shuddha Sattva? You yourself should be engaged in Shuddha Sattva, and people who are depending on you, you inspire them to engage in Shuddha Sattva. You know, and that's how even little bit they do, they get long, 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 long benefit. Huge benefit because what they did was Shat. It was done in a Sadhu Bhave. It was done as a transcendental service. It was done following the Vidhanoktam, following the teaching of Guru Shastra and Sadhu. So this is not just merely a Bhakti Shastri course, but these verses, if we study technically, systematically, meditate on these verses, it will give you understanding how you as a sincere devotee should be acting. What is sincerity? In devotional service, these things, knowing I'm not doing something for my pleasure. I'm not beating drum for my pleasure. I'm beating drum for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Doing in the right way. Make sure that it's pleasing. Not whatever we can do, just take them with a bing bang, and think that yeah, it's okay. I mean, but you have to understand this technical aspect. But on the other hand, Krishna also says, but what is ashat? Asardhaya. Asardhaya. Shraddha, ashraddha. No faith. Shraddha is faith. So asardhadhaya hutam datam tapastaptam kritam chayat ashad iti uchyate partha na cha tat pritaya no iha. Iha means in this life. Na cha tat pritaya, not in the next. So if there are certain things, certain endeavor or same endeavor that we just went through, if those are done without faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead, then these endeavor are ashat, impermanent. थोड़ा सा मस्ती आ गया, enjoy हो गया, that's all. Enjoyed it, liked it, loved it, but it's like flash. What is the result we are getting out of it? Nothing. Right away. Not in devotional service. In devotional service, Krishna says that little bit that we do. Krishna always look at the good. But if we approach things in a good way, then that becomes even best. So we are human being. We have definitely some personality, and we are prone to make mistake. But in devotional service, since it's done for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sadbhave, done by sadhu, it becomes mostly eternal, most of the time eternal. But I just, for the purpose of clarifying this concept, I'm giving you both side of it. So if there is no sacrifice, if there is no shraddha, not sacrifice, shraddha. And when we say shraddha, shraddha in Guru, shraddha in Shastra, shraddha in Sadhu, saintly person, we cannot You all get out. You are not a good person. You are not a good person. I don't care for sadhu. I only care for Krishna. Not possible. Not possible. Vidhan uktam. It has to be as per the vidhan. So any sacrifice, charity or austerity done without faith in the Supreme is impermanent. It is called ashat. Ashad iti uchyate. Partha, O Partha, refers to Arjun. It is uchyate, it is known as ashat. Nachatat pritaya no iha. No iha. Iha means not in this life. Iha, right here, where we are. Nachatat, not there, means next life. So not in this life, not in, we don't carry over anything. What Krishna is saying, Swalpamapi dharmasya trayatam mato bhayat. न्याविकर्मणा से अस्तु प्रतायो न विद्यते. थोड़ा सा devotional service you have done is going to stick with you forever, right? But if you have done asat thing, bang, it just flashes off. Okay, so Prabhupada many time would be asked, that what is the difference between what you are doing and what a businessman does? Prabhupada said, Gulf course of difference. Huge difference. Huge difference. And what is that difference? Prabhupada was talking from here. Prabhupada will sign Om Tat Sat Iti Yasi Bhaktivedanta Swami said Prabhupada. Everything should be done as an offering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the action is there, action is here. The difference is that this action here is done for Om Tat Sat. It is done for the pleasure, for the happiness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is eternal. This is Shat. This is Shat. This is eternal. But on the other hand, there are action. Dharmanuswanitishta pumsa vishwaksena katha suyat. Nautpadate yadiratim sarme vahi kevalam. You are engaged in your endeavors. But if that endeavor, nautpadate yadiratim, if it doesn't provoke rati, love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, sarme vahi kevalam. It's just the hard work. Shastra is saying, Krishna is also saying the same thing, right? So being able to compare and see, and then you can understand that maybe the whole world, people when seeing you and I walking in dhoti kurta, having tilak chandan, vegetarian, following the four regulative principles, living a very, you know, kind of, uh, you know, renounced way of living, staying in America where everything at your fingertips, but still you don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. 5 times you will read the label before you buy a, is it egg or no egg? Is it, vegan or non-vegan? Can I eat or not eat? Why? Why? Because every endeavor that you are doing, it's Sat endeavor. It's eternal. On the other hand, on the other hand, other people who are buying the same thing, but they are engaged in Asat. So that's how Krishna is helping us to understand. He talked about divine quality, divines are divine, and he talked about what are the demoniac quality, what are the people who are little better than demoniac, but then he says for both this demoniac and intermediate type of people, there is a process. And process in previous uh, chapter, Krishna says that one has to follow Shastra. Many devotees think this this is by I was I'll hear people saying why do we need knowledge? We're not talking about Gyan Yoga here. We are talking about knowledge that is essential for bhakti. This knowledge is essential for bhakti. We need to know what is Sat, what is Asat. So that's what Krishna is teaching us. That make your endeavor shat, make your endeavor eternal, and it becomes eternal when it is done Om Tat Saditi, when it is done for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada has written very nice purport on these verses. Not much, but I think the last verse 26 and 27 purport might be little bigger, but maybe the verse number 25 and 24 might not have a bigger purport. Let me very quickly look at it. Purport of Divine Srila Prabhupada for 24. Yeah, 24, 25 is not a big purport, but 26, 27 is a little bigger, and last one uh, is a little bigger as well. Anything done without the transcendental objective, whether it is sacrifice, charity, or penance, is useless, Prabhupada says, the very first line. Therefore, in this verse, it is declared that such activities are abominable. Finally, conclude, this love is the ultimate goal of the living entity. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. This is the message of the 17th chapter. Prabhupada's last sentence for this chapter, saying that therefore one should take to Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat Iti. Any endeavor that we do, half an hour driving from Chesterfield to uh, St. Louis downtown, or any temple you are part of, the driving become eternal. The time that is spent to reach towards feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that becomes, that time becomes eternal. The benefit, time is always eternal, but the benefit that you get for that time that you have spent, the result for you is eternal. So that's how this chapter concludes. Very powerful message that comes at the later part of this chapter. So with that, I would like to conclude here and see if there is any questions, any realization, anything anybody would like to talk. From next class, we'll start last chapter of this verse. And last chapter is very much going to give us the summary of many of the things that we have studied so far. Okay, dear devotees, thank you. Hare Krishna, Manohar Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I was late
Yeah, you
today.
came a little late, but we were talking the nectar part of the discussion today.
Okay.
Like Om Tat Sat Iti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Dandavat. Yes, Mataji, yes, I can hear.
So, Prabhuji, I have, like, after reading this chapter, after the conclusion of the chapter, sorry, I should talk about myself.
Yeah.
When I dig deep into the activities that do, it's more closer to demoniac than, to the, so we all are trying to become devotee, still not there yet. So my question is, if sometimes, we get, not every time that whatever we eat prasadam. So even though vegetarian, so how do I make it like, if I'm away from the deity and not able to make it as prasadam, but I got to eat that. So how can I take it? There are a lot of things that people do. They chant something and then they take it. So is there a way for us to do that?
Yeah, something like that. Like for example, if you buy a bottle of water at the airport.
Tell us like what we
Excuse me, sorry. If you are buying a, water bottle at airport.
breaking, Guji.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm hearing you. I heard your
Yes.
question also.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. So I'll see you. This is other devotee can, Manohar Prabhu, Sadhgujanand Prabhu, other devotee can, Bimla Mataji, all of you can add into it. But I can just give you one example. that I was in Sadhu Sangha, and
Prabhuji, you're breaking again.
can you all hear me clearly,
Yeah,
or I'm breaking?
yes, I think Prabhuji, we are able to hear you. Mataji, maybe your side a little bit. So we can able to hear you, Prabhuji, clearly.
Okay.
So let me go back to the example of being at the airport. So you're at the airport, right? And you bought a water bottle. What do you do? There is no DT. Many time in my bag, I have a small picture that I carry if I'm going out. Wherever I go, I sprinkle the water and put that picture, on nice cloth. First install DT and then slowly. So these are some of the things. If you are out of office, you can have picture of your DT with you. And if you are in a hotel, you can offer to, food that is eatable, and you can pray that, my dear Lord, I'm not able to serve as much as I could, but this is the best I could get. Patram puspam phalam toyam yome bhaktya parachati. So whatever you have, you offer to Krishna, and then you honor as prasadam. At the airport, I have seen that devotee buys water bottle and then remember the DT at your home and just mentally offer it to your DT. Leave it for like 3-4 minutes. Mentally offer it and then serve it. So these are some of the way that devotee manage, and you should also try to do it. The worst part is when we don't care, right? Like, okay, I was at my house, everything was good, I did it, now I'm outside, I don't have to worry for that. That is worse. But as long as sincerely we are trying to remember Krishna, and any activity that we are engaged in, we are remembering Krishna, then we are okay, we are protected. You are not really acting in a very different way. But if we completely forget Krishna and we start acting like a non-devotee, then that definitely is not desirable. But as long as we are putting restrictions on ourselves, we are trying to remember Krishna, act as a devotee, but under certain circumstances, we are not able to do it. Like for example, if you are at the work and I know you are associating with those people. No, I mean we associate, but once they start talking about something that is not related to work, not related to Krishna consciousness, it's just some mundane politics. Then you have to just walk out or don't take part into it, or don't uh, support any side. Those are the things normally I have seen devotees doing, and they do. So as long as you are being conscious of Krishna, right? That's the Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that always being conscious of Krishna. What does it mean? What is desirable for me to do, and trying our best to do. Then we are not demoniac. We are not acting in a very demoniac way. Anybody has any other thought on this line? I'm sure most of you are going through similar challenges. So this is a good point, Mataji, that you brought. This is very critical also. And let's see what others' opinions are on this thing. Yes or not, Prabhu?
Um,
No, Prabhu.
um, Prabhuji, you answered it correctly, Prabhu. I mean, not correctly, adequately. I just wanted to add one thing. I mean,
Yes,
there are times when times are not favorable, maybe in the family or otherwise. So I've gotten this advice that you can always do mentally.
yes,
That mental puja is also like as relevant if done with earnestness, because you can always sincerely offer it mentally, or you know, and then accept it. If that is the situation you are in, you know.
Right.
I think Shad Bodhananji quotes this verse: Krishna is bhav grahi Janardana. So he sees
Yes.
your bhav. So, so if we are loving towards him, we are sincerely offering him, and if the food is offerable to him, then we can offer and say. And take as Prabhu said, we can chant some mantras, or take the name of Lord, take pranam mantras and all the regular mantras which we offer anyways, uh, before offering, and then we can accept, I guess. Or if we, I don't know, there might be some shortcut when we are too busy or too in a move. At least chant some mantras. Hare.
I remember when I was in Sadhu Sangha, I was going to tell you the story. I saw one sannyasi, he was doing kirtan, and then devotee offered water. So, I mean, he was singing, so his throat was drying. So he took the water bottle and did like that. So offer it to maybe Krishna and all the devotee. And then he got, one gulp.
Oh, wow.
So
That is
it
so
was,
amazing.
he remembered Krishna and, offer it to devotee and then honor as a prasadam. So Krishna will give you intelligence if you have desire to serve him in a very bona fide way, in any situation. We all have a corporate job, but yeah, we are managing, all the pictures that I have, even at the corporate work. You'll see that I have my, Tulsi beard looking. People come and ask. I said, what? They say, what is this? I said, I just like it. It's very good. I know. I mean, I don't give much details on them. If they are very close, I'll tell them. So you have to, Mataji, definitely, but don't feel guilt. As long as sincerely you are trying to serve and you have a desire to serve, if one or two accidental mistakes happen here and there, don't punish yourself for that. Forgive yourself too. My dear Lord, I'm trying my best. You know. So Bhujanand Prabhu, you wanna add something?
No, Prabhuji, I think you both covered very, very nicely. So yeah, main thing is the mood, how we are doing the things, how conscious we are about the God while doing the things, right, Prabhuji? That's what I think I take it as. But yeah, as much as possible, as you nicely mentioned, we should. It's not like we are trying to do our best. We are not trying to make a perfection. So as we are able to do as much as we are able to do, that is the main point. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, and yeah, maybe it's nice, Prabhuji, so how you concluded this chapter also. Just I would like to share a couple of points. So I think you nicely explained every activity we are doing in Krishna consciousness. Either we are chanting or we are, driving also, that time also, everything is Sat. So that is really encouraging to see, even to go to the temple and do some service there, or cooking for the Lord, or then, eating the prasadam. These are all Sat activities. So anything away from Krishna is Asat. So that is encouraging to look that way, to push ourselves. That is one nice thing to meditate upon, and to create the enthusiasm within ourselves. That is one nice point. And the towards this chapter, it is concluded that these activities should be done for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, Samsiddhir Haritosham, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this sacrifice, and another beautiful verse is also right from the Bhagavad Gita itself. Yajnarthat karmano yatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadaddham karma kaunteya mukta sangha paramrajet. No.
Mukta Sangha
Mukta Sangha
Sanjayate.
Samachar. Mukta Sangha Samachar.
Yeah.
Samacharet.
Yeah. So that verse also it concludes these are that I'm trying to relate these both of them. Like if we are doing our activities for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, that liberates us. Otherwise, that binds us to this material world. So these sacrifices are mentioned here are also in the similar lines. Prabhupada given this last 23rd verse, I think. So Vedas, and during the sacrifice, during the sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So that is that 23rd verse. Yeah, 23rd. 23rd verse. So yeah, so at the end it's concluded that these activities, this charity or penance, whatever we are doing, that is for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So those are the connecting points, Babuji, to summarize on this chapter. So thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice. Yeah, when one performs penance, charity, and sacrifice with these three words, he's acting in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Krishna consciousness is a scientific education of transcendental activities which enables one to return home back to God. Right. There is no loss of energy in acting in such a transcendental way.
And other one also, Shraddha is also last verse.
Yes.
That is also very important. So there, in 440 also Krishna says, right? So if one is the doubting soul, means if he is not trusting in the,
Yeah.
I opened that verse also. Ajnana adsradhanasya samsayatma vinashyati
Vinasati.
lokostina paro nasukam samsayatmana. So
Yes.
the doubting soul, there is no happiness and there is no perfection. So we should be having the faith, complete faith should be there. Then only the success is for sure. Otherwise, it is clearly mentioned in that verse and as well as
Yes.
last verse of this chapter.
Yes. Agyanasa sasardha dhanasya.
Samsayatma vinashyati.
Samsayatma vinashyati. Nayam loko asti na paro. Na sukham samsayatmana. Yes. Exactly. So this is the last chapter, right? Second last chapter. Krishna by this verse very nicely concluded, right? That okay, do practical, right? All the knowledge I have given you now, apply it. How you apply it? These are the things that we are engaged in. We are engaged in food, right? Cooking every day, 3 times cooking, charity, austerity, all of these things we are engaged in. Krishna finally concludes that better you do that as a sacrifice to me. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody has anything else that they would like to share? Vimala Mataji, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, you all covered everything. So, but it remembers me. Mataji's question is very, very practical. It remembers
Yeah.
me a very one postum story which Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purport, like a Brahmana who offers everything in a mind. Yeah, it remembers me that story. So
I was
whatever.
going to tell the story. Yes, it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita also.
Yeah.
In Adi Leela, I think in the very beginning. No, Madhya Leela in the very beginning when Madhavendra Puri is going to bring the Chandan for his deity. Then his journey. In his journey, he goes to what is the name of the place? I'm forgetting it. In Bengal. So yeah, that the story comes there. You wanna tell that story, Mataji? Tell that story. Tell that story. There was one Brahmana like that, he was desiring to offer.
Yeah, he was very
Shukr.
poor. He don't have
Very
anything to offer. And after he hears some stories, he want to really offer to Krishna, but in his mind, he offer everything when he give a hot care to Krishna, and then he put his finger, and his finger was really red because his mind was completely pure to offer everything to Krishna. So it really happened in his finger, red.
So his finger got burned.
Yeah, it's got burned and completely red.
So he dipped his, finger in the. Everything is happening mentally, Mataji. Vina Mataji. Everything is happening, everything, he's doing in his, mind, preparing cooking, all of that he did in mind. He offered it to Krishna. And when he offered it to Krishna, he forgot to check that did I offer, cold or hot. So just to check, he dipped his finger inside the payasam, and his finger got burned. So
The meditation got broken.
uh,
His meditation got broken.
his
Like
thing got broken.
Broken.
So
in the
mental offering is also, as Prabhu was saying, Manohar Prabhu, that we can also offer through our mind. Yes, that's also bona fide.
then in
Of
this
the different forms of deity, Prabhuji, one is a
Huh?
mental form also. The deity can be of many dhatus, right? It can be a picture, it can be brass, it can be earthen,
Yeah.
it can be marble, and one of them is mental also, right?
Yeah, that Brahmana made it mentally, made it from the mud. He thought in his mind and made the DTS in the mud. Everything he did it in the mind.
And Krishna still accepted it, right?
when the story
Okay.
says that it is Lord Vishnu sends the Vahana, Garuda Vahana comes by him, right? So to take
That's
him
why
out.
Prabhu says bhakti is very easy, yeah? Very easy. You don't need anything and you can do all the benefit. You can get all the benefit.
Thank you,
Veena
Prabhu.
Mataji, thank
No,
you.
thank you so much for sharing that story. No, as you said, like bhakti is easy, but there is there is the chance to fall is very, very high. In the sense, like if you do mentally, the what do you call it? We might become complacent,
Yeah.
and if we do not associate, do not read, do not keep practicing in the actual world. For us, we are so surrounded by this material world all the time. It's very easy for us to fall down.
Yeah. So one can take the easy route, right?
Hmm.
Easy way out.
Easy way out is to just give in and 100% do bhakti 100%.
Yeah. If I can do with my mind, then why I have to cook, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's basically called misinterpretation of Shastric teaching.
Yeah.
Taking in a wrong connotation. You are right, 100% right. So we don't have to. We have to, prevent that type of endeavor.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mithyachari.
Given our circumstances, it's not easy for us to do even mentally.
Right.
We
If it's
have to do in a
real,
physical form.
yes. Yes. If the situation is real and you are dealing with it in a very realistic way, then you get the benefit. But yeah, we cannot, exploit.
Yeah. Prabhuji, as Arjuna mentioned in the 6th chapter, right? Mind is the very, very difficult part. So if we can control that, then everything is easy, right, Prabhuji? Here, currently, whatever we are talking is all mind,
Uh,
really, right?
Here is the thing. Higher than mind in intelligence. Our senses are in our gross body. There is gross and subtle. So in our gross existence, senses are superior. If there is no higher goal, then senses will be superior, and it will it will drive us, in a sensual way, where the sense object is. But higher than gross is subtle intelligence, which is mind and intelligence. So mind is for sure higher than senses, but higher than mind is intelligence. The mind will say that, okay, uncontrolled mind will say uncontrolled thing. Like, do we have full control over our mind? What is your answer, Mataji? Santa Mataji, do we have full control over our mind?
No, that's what I'm saying, Prabhuji. If I'm trying to do everything in mind, it is so easy as
Right,
long as it is controlled mind.
right.
But controlling that is difficult, right, Prabhu? Of course, yes. Because as we are learning that, but that is the main basic.
Exactly. So even our mind is, I was trying to make a point, even our mind is not fully controlled, but still we are not going on a 30-story building and jumping. Why we are not jumping? Because intelligence is saying that no, if you jump, then you will die, right? So mind, think, feel, and willing. Intelligence, accept and reject. So certain thing we accept and certain we reject. Uncontrolled mind does not accept. Otherwise, people say that this man has become mad. When mind is not controlled, and it's not making the distinction between intelligence and it is not making the distinction between acceptance and rejection, then that's the problem. But as long as it's telling you that hey, you can drive on highway but drive at 80 miles, 60 miles, 75 miles, whatever speed limit is, then the mind, although you have an uncontrolled mind, but still your intelligence is saying that if you go beyond this, then you'll get a ticket. So mind does dictate a lot, but mind is also controlled by intelligence. Higher than intelligence is false ego. Higher than false ego is soul, Atma. Higher than Atma is Paramatma. Higher than Paramatma is Bhagwan. Bhagwan is when we say supreme person. So supreme means supreme of all of this. So yes, mind does play some role in our day-to-day endeavor, but if we have controlled mind, then it's much better. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Agreed, Prabhuji. Whatever we are talking, the examples of doing everything on mind and mentally, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
So that is like a matured state, right? It is not like, suppose, say, I am the person where I'm trying to practice, I'm trying to do that controlling of it. So normally what I feel is like, say, mind, right? If it is like a hard debt, then definitely mind won't go as it is aware or consciousness. Like as you mentioned, right? If I jump from the building, yes, I die. That is sure.
right.
That's what the mind knows, and consciously, unconsciously also won't do that because that is fixed in that. But if I'm doing in the highways, yes, if I go higher, more speed, I may get ticket.
Right.
But it is again 50-50. Sometimes I may get it, sometimes I may not get it. That's where mind plays on it, right? Because yes, I'm trying to control myself, but there is no full control there. Still, we go on full speed most of the times. Most of the people, not me, of course. Just I'm giving the example where
Right,
definitely it is a dead situation. Conscious mind will listen, but of course, I'm saying those mentally doing every time mentally is like a completely, I'm saying, matured state. Of course, I'm not able to do all those things. Just I'm telling that is completely matured state or pure devotee stage or almost pure devotee stage, we can say.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll meet next Saturday at the same time. Is it okay? And we'll start 18th chapter. Hare Krishna. Vanchkalpatarubhyaśya kripa sindhubhya पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, सिंबल भक्त वृंद की. लास्ट चैप्टर. हरि वो.
Hari
हरे
Bol.
कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.